Okay, so today I'm gonna be telling you a bit about the book Breakfast at Tiffany's. The story starts off with a girl named Lulami Barnes, and she runs from her parents because they aren't really nice. She also has a brother, and for a long time they live on the streets until they break into a house and want to steal some food from their kitchen, but they get caught. But they get caught by a really nice person named Dr. Golightly. And he also has some children, but his wife died. So he accepts those children and takes Lulami Barnes as his wife. They get married, and Lulami Barnes at that point is only 14 years old, which is pretty young. Lulami Barnes also changes her name to Holly Golightly because she's now married to Dr. Golightly. And every day she decides to go on a walk to explore the city a bit. And every day she goes just a little bit further. This happens every day. And one time she doesn't come back. She just leaves her brother with Dr. Golightly, who is really nice. She also was really nice to him, but she just wanted to go out. She doesn't want to be in one place. It feels like she's getting captured. So her brother lives with Dr. Golightly and his children, and she's on her way to New York. Then one day she receives a message that her brother has to go to the military, which she's pretty sad about because he might die because it's pretty dire situation in the military right now. But anyways, she comes to New York and there she comes to an apartment and she has a simple apartment name, Holly Golightly Ring here, but besides that there is also the word traveling. And one person is very intrigued by that, a person that has lived there for a rather long time, but we don't know the name of the person. We only know that he is a writer. And one day, Holly Golightly comes home with another of many men she is with in a relationship. A relationship is not the correct term to say here because it's rather short term, just for 1 or 2 nights, maybe 1 or 2 weeks if it goes well. And this man is really messed up, so he's drunk and does some weird things. So she has to escape through the window and climbs on over to the flat of the writer I told you about. And they start talking, and yeah, they are pretty good friends, and the writer almost instantly falls in love with her, but she's not really interested. And so the writer wants to see her again, and yeah, they meet sometimes. And one day he discovers that she does some weird things because she's pretty poor, and so she sometimes in a week, I think it's on Thursdays, she goes to the prison where a relative of her, Sally Tomato, is, and she brings him some messages and then talks for him for 1 hour and gets paid quite a lot of money. This isn't illegal, but it seems a bit weird to the writer. And then he also notices that she sometimes goes to Tiffany's. That's where the title of the book comes in, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Tiffany's is a jewelry, but she's poor, so she can't afford anything. She only goes there when she's depressed to just see funny, shiny things and think of what better life she could have had. Just to get out of the depression. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but it is what it is. And yeah, she gets in contact with many men, also with a weird woman called Magwood, which also has many men. And yeah, one day she meets Jose, and then she gets pregnant because of Jose. And then one day they're at a fair, she and the writer are at a fair with real horses, and then the horses escape, and it does end up really bad for especially writer. He injured his head, and then the next morning he wakes up, but Holly Golightly is getting escorted by the police because they think she has got something to do with the drug cartel of her relative, Sally Tomato, which she is visiting. And so the writer is all on his own, only with the cat she hasn't given a name to. The two main characters of the book, I'm not main characters, cat isn't the main character, but the cat comes up a lot and doesn't have a name because Holly Golightly doesn't want to get attached to a cat. And the one person that really actually loves Holly Golightly, the writer, also doesn't have a name, which is just a really niche thing to take a look at and think, ah, the writer again made a quite nice reference. And so the baby is born, but it's not actually born because it's a miscarriage. So Holly Golightly is in the hospital, and because she's still under arrest, she just decides to escape because she isn't in a police station because she had to go to a hospital because she is pregnant. And so she escapes, and she planned on going to Brazil with Jose, but because of the miscarriage, they don't like each other anymore, and so she decides to go on her own. And before they go to Joe. Joe is just a bartender, which he also comes up a lot throughout the book. And he's just a pretty nice guy. He's not on the best terms with the writer, but they just sit next to each other and don't speak a lot to each other. But they are common friends. That's also why, yeah, they got to know each other a bit better. And so he isn't really in favor of the plan of Holly like escaping to Brazil from the police, but he just gets them a cab and yeah, Holly gets to the airplane. But before that, she got a cat with her, and she just wants to let loose of her old life. So she lets the cat free, and the writer is like, "What are you doing, bud? Yeah, you'll probably miss her." And then she flies to Brazil, and then a few days later, she tells the writer, "Yeah, yeah, please get the cat and look after it." And yeah, that's the end of the book. That's it. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.